The EagleCam 5 is a really great value when it comes to cellular trail cameras. You're not going to have to spend money on batteries, and those subscription plans are budget friendly. Let's check it out. What's up guys, it's Dwayne from Mountain Buck. Today I'm checking out a brand new cellular trail camera from a brand new trail camera company. This is the EagleCam 5 from Magic Eagle Trail Cameras, and I'm really intrigued by this camera for a variety of reasons. The first one being, this thing has an internal lithium-ion battery integrated right in the camera. It also has a solar panel that plugs in, and I think that's going to get you through months and months of use without needing to worry about the battery at all, so I'm super excited about it. It also has a really interesting app and a lot of great features in here, so let's check it out. So here is the EagleCam 5 right out of the packaging there, and you can see it has some nice camo on there for concealment purposes. This will blend in really nicely in your hunting environment. When you set it up on a tree there, you have the logo Magic Eagle on top. You have the nighttime LEDs up top here, the PIR sensor. You'll notice there's also a microphone and speaker on here. That's because you could jump in live and communicate with someone if you want to for security purposes or a hunting buddy like that. So you have a speaker right here for two-way communication. And this is where it gets interesting. Down the bottom here, you have this little port. This is for a USB-C to plug that solar panel in, which we'll get to in a moment. But then you also have this section here, which will open up. And check that out, that's really interesting. So you have a power button on here. You have a status indicator light down here. They give you a 32 gig SD card, which is really nice. Check that out, 32 gig card right in there. And you'll notice there's no batteries. There's no slot for a battery. There's no cartridge. There's nothing like that. So what we're gonna do is there's actually a tiny little hole right down under that USB-C port right there. That's gonna activate the lithium ion battery that's built in for the first time. Let's check that out. Also in the box here, you have two heavy-duty long straps here to mount the trail camera and the solar panel to the tree. You have metal buckles on here, metal components, which really nice heavy-duty stuff. You have a little mounting bracket for that solar panel, which you can mount it directly if you want to drill into a tree. You also have this nice little guy on here, which will go on the back if you want to use that strap so you don't have to drill into anything at all. You can just use a strap right through there and mount the solar panel that way. We also have the antenna here that's going to connect to all the major cellular networks here, so that'll keep you covered wherever you have this thing mounted. And that's super easy to install. We're just going to tighten it down just like that and we're good to go. We also have some screws and things if you want to mount the solar panel to a tree or a post or anything like that. We have a quick start guide. Here is our little pin, which we're going to use to activate that lithium ion battery, power it on for the first time in just a second. And then here is the solar panel, which connects up via USB-C to the trail camera. And I'm guessing this solar panel, that nice size solar panel there, is gonna absorb enough energy from the sun to power and recharge that lithium ion battery, but we'll definitely check that out. Let's get this thing fired up and connect it up and pair it with the app. Connecting to the Magic Eagle app is a pretty straightforward process. Click on that plus symbol, long press the power button and wait for the blue light to turn on, just like this here. After a bit, you'll hear the device connected to the network sound and you're good to go. Allow the camera access to Bluetooth. It will automatically find your camera and will pair it to the app. Allow the camera to access your microphone and camera, and it's that easy, you are connected. Here it's going to show you tips on setting up. Now let's check those settings. You can edit your detection area, detection sensitivity, and times. Here you can adjust your max recording time and the delay between shots. There's also an alarm sound if you'd like to use that feature. Change your clock mode and add your time zone. Of course, we're keeping our data strip and our night modes, and that's it. Pretty easy setup. You'll want to make sure you fully charge the batteries before setting it out. All right, our EagleCam 5 is all set up, it's paired with the app, and we have our settings right where we want them. Let's get this thing outside and run some tests. All right, that EagleCam 5 is all set on the tree and looking good with that camo and concealment. And the first test we're gonna do here is the image clarity, image quality test. Now this camera has a listed 5 megapixel image quality. It also lists 48 megapixel image quality. So that just might be due to the image you get directly to the app and then the HD request after. We're gonna find out here how those images look. It also lists a 1440p HD quality video, so we're gonna check that out as well. And how I do this test is I have an eye chart, very similar to the one you use at your optometrist office to check your vision. I stand about 15 feet in front of the camera there, hold this thing up and see how clear these images are. Let's find out. Our next test is the trigger speed analysis. Now this camera has a 0.3 second trigger, which is a very fast trigger speed. How I do this test is I have a cone set up 10 yards back there behind me. I just run right by and see how quickly this camera will pick me up. Finally, we have our detection range test. Now this camera has a 90-foot detection range, and how I do this one is I have 4 cones set up back there behind me. The first one's at 10 yards, then 15, 20, and 25 yards out. I'm gonna walk by each one at a nice leisurely pace and see how far out this camera can capture me. All right, so that's it for our tests out here. But before we check that footage, if you guys could do me a favor, hook me up and hit subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Now let's see how this EagleCam 5 performed. Let's take a look here at the image quality, and obviously these standard images here are not the best. And here's the HD version of the same image that you can request, and keep in mind, this doesn't cost you any extra to get the HD version, it's just using data from your plan. And you can see down to line 7 and maybe some of 8 there. Same thing with the video, it records video in the background, you'll just have to request it, and those video clips don't cost extra, they just use the data from your plan. For the video quality here, you can again see down to about line 7 or 8. The trigger speed test here caught me after mid-frame, so we're looking at around a 0.6 second trigger or so. However, I do like the recovery time of this camera as it gets right back to taking images. The detection range did detect me all the way out to 25 yards after I made some adjustments. There's often a video associated with the photos that are taken, and you can request the HD version of the photo like this, and you can request the video recording by going to the calendar, finding your video, and requesting the video. Here's an example of the daytime image quality, and here's the HD version of the same photo. Here I've blown them up and put them side by side so you can see the quality and the difference. And again, that HD version doesn't cost any extra. Here's the nighttime image quality, and here's the HD version of the same photo. And again, the standard and the HD version side by side so you can see the difference. Here's the daytime video quality. And here's the nighttime video quality. You can see it starts a little washed out, but clears up really nice and turns into a pretty good nighttime video. I also noticed that this camera didn't record many nighttime videos, even though there may have been movement. And I think this is a battery saving feature, as nighttime videos use up a lot of batteries. Here's the nighttime infrared those LEDs put off, and those are really subtle infrared lights that you could barely see. You can also jump in live and live stream if you'd like to check on your hunting spots. As I mentioned, you could also speak through the camera if you'd like to communicate with someone. You could also take a snapshot and record the live stream. I had 2 of these cameras set up, and judging their battery life is interesting. One location didn't have a lot of action, and the camera started with about 80% battery life, and the battery life actually increased and stayed in the upper 90s and then reached 100% pretty much the whole time. And that camera shot 341 photos and also recorded 115 15-second videos in the background. It did not record a video every time it took a photo, and I'm guessing this is due to the camera write speed to the SD card. Videos do take longer to process. The other camera I had set up had a lot more volume for a time, so it did drain the battery to 0 a few times, and they will definitely let you know by sending you emails and alerts that your camera is dead. This more active camera shot 648 photos and also recorded 245 15-second videos in the background, and that is a ton of photos and videos, so the battery fluctuated and went to 0 a few times, but once the area wasn't active and the sun charged it throughout the day, it was able to recharge and get back toward 100%. One of the things I really like about this camera is that this thing keeps coming back to life. It's like a zombie camera. It might be dead, but it's going to recharge and come back the next day. This system does have some quirks, but they seem to be refining it and pushing out updates and improving it regularly. So there it is, guys, the EagleCam 5 from Magic Eagle. This is a great value when it comes to cellular trail cameras. You're never going to have to buy batteries for this thing, and that's thanks to that internal lithium battery that's charged by that solar panel. This thing also has some really interesting features and a budget-friendly subscription plan. As always, the links, guys, we talked about are in the description below. Guys, do me a favor, hook me up and hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one.